Howdy doodly.
I'm curious. Did you watch any of the games at all?
Yeah, I watched them all.
Wait, how'd you watch them all during day night? Oh
I
wait,
mean,
don't
I
don't
like
say it. Don't say
had
it.
them on my
I don't
second
want to out
monitor.
you in case in case the wife watches the podcast, and then
No, I
just
don't think she cared.
okay.
I told her I was gonna have it on my second monitor, and she was like, "That's cool." We
So,
watch a movie anyways.
what movie did you watch?
Frozen 2.
Hmm. Okay, this might be a controversial take, but I'm curious to know. Frozen 1 or Frozen 2 for you?
1.
I think you're on crack.
Really?
Yeah, I think Frozen 2 is just like the songs are just significantly better in Frozen 2.
Oh dang, that was my biggest issue with it.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like the songs.
I thought Into the Unknown is 20 times the song that Let It Go will ever be.
Really?
Yeah, like just the I don't know if it's the key and just like the way that it hits me a little bit differently than just like the very I don't know, stock standard song that is like the pop ballad of Let It Go. But Into the
Yeah.
Unknown just hits me different.
I mean, I didn't like it as much, but I also thought like the story was just a little weird. Oddly
Oh,
paced.
yeah, the story definitely had some pacing issues, but I still
But
liked it.
yeah, I just thought it wasn't as good, but I mean, it's a movie, so
It's like
movies
saying
are like
it's like saying which of the Fast and Furious movies is the best. The answer, all of them, because all of
it's
them.
like I the thing is, it's like it's Frozen, so it's no big deal. Like it's really, I mean, they're good movies in general. I'm curious what the third is because they want to make it a trilogy now,
Yeah, I know.
but
I don't. I
they
feel like
need
you left everybody in a really good spot.
yeah, they could have just shut it down there and it would have been fine. I don't really think they need to keep adding things, but at the same time, all the other movies keep flopping. So, like,
I mean, I'm not
they're
gonna
gonna,
comment on that for obvious reasons.
yeah.
Your boy's not gonna
But,
say shit. But
but
oh
the
man,
games, like, of the games today, I think EG was the most surprising.
was it though?
I didn't think they would do that.
Okay, I'll give you that. I didn't think they would stomp that bad, but I've been saying for about 3 solid days now that people are heavily sleeping on EG.
Mm,
I got mocked for my fantasy draft. And do you want to know what the points are? I scored
what?
70 more than the closest person today.
You picked a lot of them?
Uh I went so I had last pick again in the draft. I went Fudge and Jojo Pune as my first two picks because almost every other ADC was already taken, and mid lane I wanted the points. So Jojo Pune made the most
Yeah.
amount of sense given that M&S and Vikla I think were both already or no. Yeah, I think M&S and Vikla were both already gone.
Well, and JoJo's gonna be the focal point more than M&S.
Exactly. So I thought that would be safe. Then the next time around came, and the only decent ADC left was Unforgiven. So I went Unforgiven Busio as my duo there, and then got forced at the very end to pick between uh, Kenvi, Santorin, or what's his name, the jungler for EG,
Greg. But now
Greg
Armao.
Armeo slash Shieldon, whenever he goes in. So I went 3 EG, and it
Yeah.
paid off in droves today.
I mean, we'll see how it goes long term.
Yeah, long term I'm probably still screwed, but
But it's like for player, I would say like they were most surprising team, but player has to be. I didn't know Nuke Duck had that in him. Still.
what do you mean? His job was to not lose the game, and that's all he did.
Yeah, I just
There
meant
were a
like
few times in lane where if it was anybody, if it was M&S or if it was Jojo Pune, like he's dead
yeah,
in lane. So like he got away with a little bit there, but
he did. I just thought that was impressive, a little impressive at least. I was like, good for him,
The
still
w-
being a dog.
the week of the duck, baby. I'm
Yup,
all for it.
but DL's still a dog, I
Double
guess.
lift in summer, just not to be fucked with, apparently.
Yeah, yeah, no joke.
Like, okay, here's the thing. Whenever we played FlyQuest in our other games, we were relatively close, all things considered, in bot lane specifically. Like, Doublelift was able to keep up with Prince for the most part until ganks came, and people would just
Yep,
camp Doublelift, and then the game would be over. This time,
100%.
they couldn't, like, the one time that Spica tried ganking or, like, camping bot to, like, really put some pressure on, they played safe, they had Milio, and then Renekton's getting ahead in top lane, which
Mm-hmm.
Tenacity would not have done last split.
Now,
And it's just, it is, oh, I don't know if we'll keep this up. I mean, for now, I'm still like taming expectations. I think we could lose tomorrow to TL because TL is a very good early game team, and I don't think we win how we won today against TL.
yeah, but if DL keeps playing that way, you could be
Sure,
fine. Because today, like, Wild Turtle was giving them problems.
yeah,
And I don't think Wild Turtle's playing better than Doublelift is, you know what I mean?
no, but I think
Like,
Harry will be able to get better than
oh
or
yeah,
get the
that's for
best of
sure.
Nuke Duck. The only
Yeah,
the only saving grace is that I think I'm not sold on Piosik still, and their mid to late game is just not great. So
yeah,
if like I think tomorrow we just draft like some sort of scaling for Doublelift and just
yeah,
let him win lane and just take over the game.
yeah. I mean, that's gonna be like the best thing you can do. I don't know if you pick scaling though. I almost think you pick him aggressive to try to counteract what's gonna happen top and jump mid. You know what I mean?
I've seen Someday play against Summit enough times though to know that Someday can hold
True.
his own.
Summit will be fine. I was more thinking like top side, and it's like if DL can cook, he can make up for the mid diff. But you aren't wrong. Like if you scale and just let it be, you could also beat them late game because their team fighting is just so horrendous. Like it's terrible.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah, it's
The
I don't
second
like
the second I saw Piosik miss the easy dunk, I knew their season was done for. It was just over before it even
yeah.
began.
I mean that and like we're not even I mean, we're trying. I'm sure the players are trying because they want to have jobs after this season.
Yeah.
But we're like I don't really care about any of these games to be honest, unless we like if we somehow magically start winning them, fine. But who really cares? We're selling,
Yeah.
so it's
I
like this doesn't really matter. And watching them just get cooked by a team with minimal resources in team fights over and over again in an 8K gold lead, I was like, you boys are gonna have a long summer against good teams.
I will say this though, and this brought a smile to my face. Did you see the poll during pregame?
No.
They asked what team that fans were most excited to see this split. TSM won by double the amount of votes of anybody else.
Are you serious?
They had the most watched game today.
Why?
Well, because there were only 70K people watching in total. That was the peak that we ever got to. And go figure, TSM fans are diehards. And if it's their final split, they're going to watch.
Yeah.
Like
That's what
that.
made me tune in today. If they weren't second game, I think putting them second game was genius because I like woke up and I was like, oh man, first game's halfway through. I'm gonna shower and do everything I gotta do. And then I was like, but second game, I'm gonna watch TSM. And then I watched them and I was like, I might stick around. And I just kept watching.
I think you guys have first game tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
But I mean, who cares? We're not even trying, so this is a joke. And most
Uh,
people are probably memeing.
you guys have second game. And then you have the final game on Friday, though.
Oh, really?
Cloud9 versus TSM. One of the
I'll
final
be
two times
working
that.
that day anyways.
Oh, that sucks. I will say I love this new schedule. This fight night scheduling where like the best games are last. This is so nice. Like
Yeah.
it feels so good to not have to worry about paying attention all that much early on, and just letting it ride.
I was impressed too by IMT. They actually look like they could be. Well, they played Dig.
That's my
I
problem.
kept telling myself that too during the game.
If it was anybody other than Dig, maybe not TSM. If it had been like anybody else, I would have been like really on the Immortals hype train at least for 24 hours. But
Yeah.
because it's only Dignitas, although I will say, I did an interview with Diamond, the Dignitas support player, and he told me that apparently he plays on a Ducky keyboard, and his keyboard was messed up for the game. So he died early in lane because he was trying to like use his potion and couldn't. And like wasn't able to, like, everything was off on his bindings because of his keyboard. And
Huh.
it threw him off early in lane and tilted him a little bit. And he said, now obviously that's not like we lost in other areas too. Obviously, like Jensen's the one that you just look at and be like, bro, 0-4. But
Yeah.
he took some of the heat of them losing bot lane on himself on his keyboard. He said it won't happen again. I was like, we'll see.
I mean, it was weird watching because it was like tactical low key looked like his rookie year.
Yeah, like that original TL
Tactical.
split.
Now I know it was, but the problem is it's one game.
Yeah,
It's one game. I gotta see so much from them before I'm like, oh man, I trust these guys. Because it was like, all of them looked good. Now Bolulu is legit.
yeah, he was playing
That
good at the
guy,
end of last split too. So like, I'm willing to give
yeah.
him benefit of the doubt.
If he can keep doing what he's doing, the problem is every mid laner is way better than Jensen. So
Yeah,
it's just gonna get harder.
it is. I'm curious, what do you think of Golden Guardians?
I mean, they just look like the same team. I think they'll be fine. I
I
don't
don't think.
think this was.
I
You
don't
don't think
think
it
so.
was good for them?
I just look at them and I see this team that can easily drop out early in playoffs. The same way that they nearly did to 100 Thieves and didn't go to MSI.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sold that just because they had a hot run in playoffs and looked decent on the international stage because they played like they have nothing to lose, which is good, but I'm not taking that away from them. I'm just saying domestically, they were not the same team. They just got hot for like a 2 or 3 week stretch. And if you're gonna credit 100 Thieves or discredit 100 Thieves for doing that at the end of the split for finding a style that worked for them, you also have to discredit Golden Guardians for doing that, because you know what Golden Guardians did? They saved counterpick for top lane, and that was it. And then just picked lanes that they were able to play decently well. But you know what? Everybody else has kind of scaled up in the meantime.
Yeah. I mean, there's still. There's a lot of time though. Like
Yeah, there is.
the MSI lull can hit pretty hard, and it can hold teams through. But I'm not like completely worried that they're gonna fall apart type deal.
I I'm more on the camp that I think they run out of gas by the end. Because
Maybe.
they
I
were
mean,
already talking about burnout being really bad during
oh really?
MSI. Yeah, like Spook. When I talked to Spooks, he was like, "Yeah, dude, we're powering through, but like burn like burnout's a thing." And it was like, okay, that's not
Well, they had a
good.
couple weeks off,
They had two.
extra weeks. Yeah, but I'm saying they got extra time off. They had more than two. They got
Okay,
out of
2 week,
MSI pretty
2 week.
early.
Did they? No, they got out the final week of MSI.
Oh, it was the final week? MSI
Yeah,
was that fast?
yeah.
Dang. Yeah. I just am thinking, it's like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm completely worried about them, but at the same time, they do have quite the uphill battle, and Licorice was playing out of his mind. So if Licorice falls off at all, like, it's gonna get pretty bad.
My other thing is
I
like
mean,
EG also imploded at the end. Like
yeah.
absolutely imploded at the end of the season to the point where like they were they were good to get to where they did, but like it's hard to take their series with like true validity. And now like someday on this roster, granted it's one game, but like I from this one game I already saw enough to know that like this is exactly how he played during 100 Thieves in their prime, where it's just
Mhm.
like he's either if you give him jungle attention top, he'll get a lead and he can go from there. And the problem we always had was like when we fell off after our win, FBI and Huhi were not at the same caliber. So Someday was having an MVP level performance, hence why Tenacity didn't even go in. But
Yeah.
you didn't have the bot lane to counteract pressure. So if people were coming at you top lane and you're trying to absorb a bunch of resources, you didn't have people that could simply take over the game.
Yep.
Now you do. And it's like I like that. I think Unforgiven's playing better than I think Unforgiven has the potential to be better than 6A as well.
Are
Prince
you
and
saying
Berserker we
for?
already know.
Are you saying like for EG? Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just saying I personally put I don't know if you saw my power rankings. I put Golden Guardians at 6th at the end of the year.
Oh wow.
I'm willing to bump them up to 5th and move NRG down. But
Well, Unforgiven is really good.
Unforgiven and
Like,
JoJo can carry that team to Worlds.
I don't know how he got like put on an academy team.
Because he couldn't find a team in Europe. European teams are incredibly sensitive with like who they allow on. Like Mad Lions won't let basically other teams get him because they don't want to upgrade the competition around them, despite wanting to get rid of the talent.
Yeah, I
European
just
orgs,
meant like I couldn't believe that no LCS team like was like, oh man, this guy would make us better type deal.
yeah, I don't know.
Like especially if he wasn't that much money. But I mean, hey, EG's taking a stab at him and it's probably gonna pay off.
Oh, I think it's gonna pay off
And
incredibly well.
I know everybody hates Armao or however you say his name, Armao. I don't
Armea, yeah.
know. He really like though he wins a lot. I remember like that being the thing on TSM. Everyone would be like, they can't keep getting away with this because the dude just like randomly wins a lot.
Yep.
Like if you put him on a team with good players, he's a really good facilitator, and he'll look like the fifth best player on that team the whole time. Don't get me wrong, he'll
Yeah.
look terrible, and everyone will think he's terrible, but he's a really good like low income player. And that I mean like doesn't need a lot of gold, can get the job done, and isn't gonna win you everything, but also doesn't necessarily lose you a ton of games.
Yeah.
Like he's not gonna put the players who are supposed to show up in a way that they don't have to. Like he lets them do their thing. He doesn't cost them the game. If your carries underperform, he's probably not going to like then reach above his level and carry them. He just does what he does every game. And I'm like kind of surprised that they just kind of let him like or that everyone was like, "Oh man, they're gonna suck because they got him too." And I was like, he kind of fits the JoJo style well.
Yeah. And to Jeffrey's point in chat, uh, you got to remember he struggled with injury pretty heavily. Like that, it wasn't ever a skill issue with Armeo slash Greg. It was, it was always a is he healthy enough to play at his highest level? Because at his highest level, he made finals with TSM. Because that was like the Acadian Greg swap era where they made
Yep.
finals. So they made it there. They got second place with Team Liquid during the COVID years. Or no, was it COVID years with him, or was it
They're
2021?
saying it was 2021.
Okay, 2021. Yeah, so 2021 post COVID, like second place. Oh yeah, because they had like that finals outside against Perks, and they went to Game 5. Yeah, okay, now I remember. So yeah, like he's proven that he can get you to finals, but like there's nothing you can do if the man had injury, and you hope that he's continuously improving. And same thing with Santorin. Like Santorin was another player that just he can get you there when he's healthy and when he's playing well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true. And it's like a lot of people think you need to have 5 all-stars to make a run, but you really don't. Like you do have to have some amount of like role players. That's kind of the point. Like I guess you can say like G2 had just 5 insane players, but it wasn't they all knew their roles and it wasn't like Yankos was going out of his way to carry every game. He was kind of a facilitator.
Yeah, they could
And
shuffle off responsibility to any person at any time, and all understand that.
yeah, and Armeo is pretty good like facilitator. So if you have guys who like to be the um like what is it, face of the franchise, which they do. I mean, Unforgiven and JoJo want all the smoke every game, I assume.
Yep.
Like, why not grab him? And Revenge honestly looked pretty good without the Immortals training weights.
Yep.
Like, I mean, we'll see how he does because Revenge is kind of a wishy-washy player, anyways. Like, I don't really have any faith in him, but they also have Soul on the bench if they don't like him.
Oh, former
Like,
TSM guy.
yeah, yeah,
Ah. I don't know. I like it though. Like overall, like I think this day one just made the split 20 times more interesting for people.
yeah. Well, the big thing about EG, I will say, is like if you're somebody looking, if they have to sell, because that Danny investigation thing has not dropped yet. If they decide to sell or whatever happens there, they have to be the most intriguing team to buy
Oh,
because of the
absolutely.
people they have under contract. Like if you could buy them and have Soul, JoJo, and Unforgiven, and if Ayla figures it out on EG, they could be pretty insane because I think the EG guys are going to be way different than the FlyQuest guys. They're not going to be as ego driven and like unhelpful. Like I'm not saying the FlyQuest guys are unhelpful, but you probably have to have a pretty strong voice to survive on that team.
Yeah.
Like you have to be. They almost needed Vulcan in that sense because they needed somebody who'd be like, "Hey, f off, man. Like I get it. I made this mistake. Whatever. Fuck off."
Yeah.
And on EG, I don't think anyone's gonna do that. They're gonna like just ride you super hard.
Yeah.
Like maybe they will, but I highly doubt it. Not with
I
the way their vibe seems.
no. I don't know. I just I know people are gonna hate on EG for like the team and the management, but like that's a roster you can just really get behind. Like
Yeah,
really, really get behind because you got NA players in Revenge, Shieldin, Armeo, and JoJo, and Ayla is Ayla is Australian, and then you have Unforgiven. So your bot lane might be import, but like you got like a really good NA core if they work out on the
yeah.
top side. Like that's I desperately I like more than anything I want EG, Hunter Thieves, C9, and FlyQuest to be our 4 teams that go.
I mean, that's what it's looking like it's gonna be. NRG looks terrible.
Yeah, they did not.
Like,
They, they just got stomped. I mean, I'm
I don't
curious to
have
see if they
anything. Well,
rebound because you know as damn well as I do, Dokla and Contracts are very streaky players. They start
yep.
getting in a rut, they're in a rut, but then they start bouncing back and they can rattle off 4 or 5 wins like it's nothing. So
Yeah, and we'll see how long the leash is for 'em
yeah,
with new management. Like, there's not like they can replace them with anybody. They
no,
don't have an academy to go to reach into, really. So, like, most teams don't right now.
no.
That's what is kind of interesting to me. Like, some of these bad teams, like TSM, NRG, what, Dig, well, who all kept their academy? Wasn't it FlyQuest, EG?
FlyQuest EGTO.
Yeah. So all these other teams don't have anyone to reach in and grab. Like, there's
But
nothing to do.
but to be fair, the players that they're gonna grab, as long as they're not in like, as long as they don't have stupidly high buyouts, which apparently like is no longer a thing, uh, they're getting paid like 2K a month. So
Yeah.
like it's not gonna be hard. Like if you're a good player from that academy system, it should not be hard to bring them up now.
That's true. That's true.
And why
Yeah,
why
hopefully it's not
why
so hard.
risk getting to the off season? Like if you're an org propositioning one of these players, you just tell them, look, sure, off season comes, you might be able to get on a good roster next year if you're like say you're like the number one jungler in NACL. You can run that risk, but what if somebody imports? Or
Hmm.
I can give you a guaranteed shot right now, and you agree to sign on to next year as well, and we go from there.
Yep.
You have leverage. Like teams 100% have leverage.
And really, most of the teams aren't needing to switch out anyways. Like 100 Thieves isn't gonna switch out anybody anyways.
Nope.
C9 not gonna switch out anybody.
Mm.
So those two don't matter. TSM, I think it is
Irrelevant.
very clear they're not spending any more money than they have to on this.
Yep.
So they're not switching out anybody. Dig is also, I think, pretty clear that they're just gonna ride this one out and see if they can sell at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So that leaves you with what? Do you think Immortals would
No.
try to buy
No.
another guy? I don't really think they would either.
I think Immortals is in pretty much the same spot where it's like
Yeah, they're just like,
you hold out at that point. Like Kenvi is somebody that you try and build around, maybe,
Yeah.
and that's about it. Other than that, I don't know, like Solo, you're not gonna like you're paying him peanuts anyways, probably, knowing
Yep.
them. Balulu, doubt he's on much of a contract because he's an import player and you can get away with underpaying them a little bit if they're not from one of the top LCK programs. Who's their bot lane? Tactical, he's not gonna be making all that much.
Tactical and treats.
Yeah, and Treats is. I doubt any of them are like. There's really nobody that you're gonna replace there all that much. So
No.
I think every LCS team, barring like Dignitas, is in a spot where you don't trade out any players.
And Dig won't because
Yeah.
they've been pretty clear that they're done with trying, or that this isn't working for them.
I guess NRG, like you said, is the only one, and that
They're
depends
the
on new
only
management.
one. And yeah, and that could just be because they want to spend money because they want to try to win quick, but there's nobody to replace.
No, not at the moment. Like
You're not going to get a better AD than FBI right now.
No, I think FBI you don't even look at touching. You could argue that maybe what's his name? Support. I just talked to him earlier today. Ignore. You could argue there might be an upgrade for Ignore, but I doubt it. And then Palafox you're not getting rid of. Palafox is a like probably the best North American mid laner on like that level to hold it down. Maybe contracts in Dokla, depending on who's there. I don't know.
But there's not enough. There's a lot of the good, like, academy guys you'd want to take are kept right now. Like, they were kind of kept on. Now you could try. Yeah, there's really nothing. I don't see why you would even try.
No.
There's not really a shot. Which sucks, because that just leads us back to that why we suck so bad at making better players, but that's life.
Hey, you know what? I'm more worried about just making sure this league is entertaining, because 77K is a bit of a yikes, must say. I'm not too overly worried about it for now, but if that number drops at all, then we got problems. But I honestly believe Wednesday when Jat, hang on, let me check Jat's Twitter, because Jat put out a tweet basically saying or asking people if they knew the LCS was on today. And obviously some people will bomb that thread, but trying to see.
I will say one thing, because I've been on nights, bro. and I've been watching a lot of LPL, and I've been like DMing you about it. But dude, watching the ADC just the way LCS ADCs are and the way LPL ADCs are, it is crazy, man. Switching between the two leagues.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be watching an LCS fight and I'll be like, dang, this guy's like I'll watch them what is it, cleanse something, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like they cleanse like a second too early or they wait too long. Like their ults are slow. It's just weird. It's weird how much the night and day difference is.
I mean, it's not all that weird. Like, we know that they're just mechanically better.
Well, it's just weird when you like start seeing it a lot. Cause I haven't got to watch LPL like this intensely because I haven't been on a night schedule like this before.
Yeah.
So I get to watch like almost every game, and it's kind of wild, like going between the two leagues.
You're starting to convert to an LPL fanboy ahead of TSM, aren't you?
I mean, once I'm back on days, I'm done with this fanboyism. Like,
True, and then you're back on the LCS hype train.
yeah,
Have any of these teams done anything to persuade you towards your towards their fandom yet?
no, because TSM's still here.
Alright, so you legitimately just can't, like, you're not going to be able to until they're gone.
No, sir.
Dang.
Everybody can get bent till we're actually done.
I mean, that's fair. Can't fight that. That's sound logic. How have your games been going, by the way? Like, of actual,
League.
yeah.
I haven't really been playing anymore. I demoted, so I just kind of gave up. I was like, might be a sign.
I'm back down to gold too.
I had a class starting though, like last week. So I literally just told myself, I was like, okay, if I'm gonna make this final push because you saw me playing a ton
Yeah.
for that little stretch, and if I don't make it, it's just is what it is. Like I'm not gonna sit here and try to fight for it because I need to study and focus for now.
Yep.
So I'm just letting it be. But kind of sad because that Emerald tier thing's coming in. Why they're putting this in a mid-season beyond me? Like they need help. What the decisions they're making for a mid-season change right now is just, in my opinion, not great.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. But
Yeah, I thought about this the other day too because I got on like a world song binge and like a world's opening ceremony binge and just I don't it's summer hits and that just
I know what you
happens.
mean.
I can't I don't know why I can't stop myself from thinking about that, but like I'm just getting excited for it. And I
Yeah.
realized it's like what are they going to open the world's opening ceremony with? Because they had no song at the beginning of they had no trailer. They had not like that shitty thing that they did is going to be forgotten about. Like, just not going to happen. So what are you going to do? What material do you have? Like, unless they go pure 2018 style and go KDA, which I have a feeling they're going to do. Like, gut feeling says it's going to be like a full KDA like opening concert, and then close it with the world song. But we'll see. I don't know. That made me think back to like, yeah, we really did get nothing at the beginning of the year.
It just feels like League right now is on the back burner. And I'm not gonna lie, Freak is like probably one of the most annoying balance team guys I've ever seen in my
Really?
entirety of playing League of Legends. The transparency is cool, but constantly only ever arguing why you're right and never ever admitting that you could be wrong on occasional times of some of these champions, I just find so freaking annoying. Like every time I go read a thread by him, it's about why he thinks they were right and what they did and what he sees as right, and he just throws all the stats that he can out there to make himself feel right. And then you'll be like, yeah, well, Yumi still like the Yumi one was so
What
bad.
do you do with Yumi? Because I
He
honestly
just
have
kept
not been
putting
paying any attention to it.
he just kept putting all these stats of why Yumi's play rate is down, her win rate is better, like everything's mixing out with Yumi in the way they want. But I was like, dude, she's literally been picked or banned every game in Korea so far this year.
Yeah. Same thing
She
with
has
Zeri.
100% pick ban rate. And Zeri's been dominating for 6 months now. This is getting
Six
old.
months?
And
It's been almost a year.
true, that's true. A year. And like, oh yeah, that's what it was. Khan, thank you. He said pros need to draft better. Like, he said that it's other people's fault because LPL doesn't pick Yumi as much. So obviously LPL knows what's going on and everyone else is stupid. And I was like, dude, do you not realize like Yumi's just a mistake and she needs to probably have a full rework? Like at this point, like she is just a mistake. She's very unfun to play against. And when you see like a balance team member just openly putting like pros need to draft better and why he thinks everyone else is wrong, even the top players in the world, like it's like, dude, you are unbeatable. Nobody is going to convince you you're wrong. If you think that Korea is wrong and you think Korea is just overvaluing Yumi at this point, it's like, what else do you think? Like, there's got to be so many things he thinks that just people do wrong.
Yeah, like what else can they do to show you that it's still the optimal thing to do in this situation?
Yeah. And I'm like a big Reddit guy, so I'll read Reddit threads that he types up or a Twitter thread. You know I'm on both of those a lot.
Yep.
And when I see him just spam typing about a game that I like a lot, but is like getting to a point where it's weird to play because there's basically only a few champions that are really like technically meta right now. Like now, and you can only ban one. So it's like seeing that is just so disappointing. And then seeing these mid-season changes, like I know that's not the balance team's job or whatever,
Yeah.
but like it's like, dude, what are they doing up there? And when people say they don't like it, they just start writing Twitter threads. And it's like, how about instead of writing a Twitter thread and defending yourself, you just like ask why we feel that way. Like
Yeah.
be normal. Be like, what is, because the player base isn't shrinking. So it's like the game is still doing all right. So why try to kill it?
Yeah. I don't know. It what what really bugs me with it more than anything is just I feel like there's this lack of attention to just player enjoyment and
Yep.
experience. And that I don't know. I mean, I get they're starting to focus on it with like the 2v2v2 game mode, but like what I'm really hoping they understand, and we'll only find out next year as time goes on, is whether they truly get that that's not going to be enough. That there needs
Yeah.
to be really drastic overhauls to how this game is updated. I don't care if it's things that the community doesn't end up liking, at least make major changes. We can
Mhm.
always revert if need be. And like, you know what, we went too far. We changed too much. And that was, that is what it is. But like it feels like as of late there's just I don't feel like there's enough changing. Like I think back to like remember how big of a change the dragon changes were?
Mhm.
That was massive. And it just feels like we get nothing of that scale anymore whatsoever.
No, instead we get mid-season complete item overhauls.
Uh,
Not even mid-season, bro. Like not even with the rank reset. They did it in the middle of a ranked season. Like that's basically spitting in people's faces, being like, "Hey, good luck. Figure this one out." Ha 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 ha.
yeah,
They're like, "You,
I
here's a
don't
bunch
get
of new items."
I don't get the timing of the rank season reset either. Like it just
They what they did this year, if it was them, like if these guys that are in today were it back in when they were doing that drag change, I wouldn't have been shocked if they did it in April. Like they would have just gone, "Oh well, we have the idea, fuck it," and just throw it in and push it in and go, "Figure it out, people."
but I feel like the kind of going down that logical rabbit hole though that you mentioned earlier of like stopping and asking why. Like why are they pushing through these changes so quickly? Or like at
Mm-hmm.
what feels like random sporadic times. Because they're making up for lost time. They're trying to shove
True.
this in and just get it done because they know that realistically every day does matter. And
Yeah.
it feels like we're not at a point. Okay, I need to mute this Slack or this Discord channel that's popping off right now. There was not enough change at the beginning of the year. There wasn't enough change last year to the point where it feels like you have to just rush something out to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of these changes are coming in because KDA is coming in the later half of the year, and they know that's gonna take like every bit of priority in terms of, like the skins. They better have some sort of event planned for KDA and like actually go all out with this. But I don't know. Like this year has been really tough in terms of like getting excited about the game of League of Legends itself
Yeah.
beyond just the competitive side.
Yeah. And it's like you would think they would adapt with the player base age a little bit because the game, like as your players get older, they're gonna get a little busier because adults have to adult at some point, and they haven't really been helping us a lot. I would say like the veteran players,
Yeah.
they haven't been giving us like fewer massive changes, but still changes enough to make the game interesting, or doing it at a certain timing that's good. Instead, they've been like, hey, we know you have to like live life and do all this stuff, but here's also just a mid-season change that's as big as we can do, which then makes you kind of go, well, maybe this summer I'll spend more outside because I don't know what's going on in the game. I'll let people figure it out for me, watch a quick YouTube video or something, and then hop back in a couple months.
But the thing I will argue with that, and maybe I'm part of the problem on this, but I use Mobalytics when I play
Mm-hmm.
now because it just takes all like the item
It
changes in
does.
general
That's true.
basically mean nothing for me. Because I have Mobalytics there and it automatically just more or less tells me what to build. And
Yeah.
I mean, I can feel it out from there and make changes because by all means I do. Like I still adapt my builds in game, but I follow like the general path line. Like
Yeah.
there's less of a need to figure it out on your own, which does take away a little bit from the immersion of
Yeah.
gameplay. But if that's the new standard, I would equate this to being like teachers telling students you're never going to be allowed to use AI in your life.
Mm-hmm.
But yet in 5-10 years they're going to be able to use AI in their job and everything else around them, and that's just the reality of the world that they live in, and you need to adapt to making sure that
Very true.
that you can still effectively teach them, knowing that AI is going to be the tool that they use to do homework, do essays, stuff like that. Like it's always going to be there. League needs to understand that third-party tools like that are just now part of the game,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna be like that for probably ever. And if you're not having a third party, that means that you probably brought it in-house because otherwise people would complain too much. So the changes that you make can't be changes that are solved or easily figured out by third-party software. So like item changes, while in theory great to a certain extent to like mix it up, like ultimately isn't going to have as big of an impact as you think it does. Whereas changing the map, changing the flow of the game, changing
Yeah.
like how you engage with it beyond those tools feels even more important than anything else, and we just
Yep.
haven't gotten that.
And we're always gonna be different on like some of the item change stuff because you and I's perspective of the game is so vastly different since you play ADC and I play like support and jungle. Like item changes can completely ruin the champion set I was playing most of the season with, and then I have to like change up my whole style to like and like to mages or something
True.
else. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You're like ADCs kind of have better, I would say, continuity
True.
inside of itself, which sucks sometimes for me because I have to be like, dang, I really gotta dump Wukong or Vi or something and start going full assassins.
Fair. I guess that is a very ADC mindset of me to have. Of like,
Well, it's not like a bad thing because for you, the map changing is what would make an ADC main excited. You know what I mean? The map changing is your excitement. Like when you said you haven't had a ton of interaction changes, I'm sitting here like, bro, I've had all the jungle camps change, how their hit timers work and all that, how easy they are to clear. I'm sitting here fighting for my life against Riot Games, and ADC mains are like, man, can they change the bottom lane? I'm like sitting here like this is Cheeks fighting in the pits of hell, and you're sitting here like damn same old running through.
I, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I was like I'd appreciate if jungle wasn't the only thing that changes every year. I know there's not a lot we can change every year, but it's always jungle roll.
I don't know. But that's
Now
the
what you
thing.
said
Is
is
like the
true though. If they change the way like minions interacted or something, I don't know what they could
yeah,
change,
they
but if
can't
they
really
just
touch that. But I'm
if
thinking
they
like
could make the map different, it would be cool.
I'm thinking like it might be controversial, but fuck it, completely overhaul Summoner's Rift entirely.
Sure.
Like, yes, that will change jungle, and like you'll still have jungle camps and you have to clear
Oh,
like
it's fine.
stuff like that. Like, I get that, but like, I don't know, find a way to like completely shift how bot lane is. I don't know
Yep.
how you do that, but I don't know.
I think like they can't really do that, I guess. But maybe one thing they could do, here's a minute thing that I think would make a lot of people feel good, a map skin.
Yes. Yes,
Do
maps.
some map
Yes,
skins.
that is the bare minimum that you can do to just make
Yes.
it feel unique. The same thing, but different every time.
Yeah. Add a map skin and I mean give us some fun.
Yeah.
Cause the fact they haven't done the Christmas map
Oh, I know
in
that bugs
3 or 4 years is
it.
like insane.
That bugs me so much. Or like I remember the Odyssey one, like changed how the towers looked, and like it felt like you were
Yeah.
fighting in space for a bit. Like that
The
was cool.
GP one,
Yeah.
you had a GP voiceover.
And like think about it for Worlds and MSI, for those events, like I'm thinking for MSI this year or for Worlds this year, you have KDA and you're going to be in Korea. Literally make Summoner's Rift into an arena.
Yeah.
Add like stands of minions on like the outside where like there's nothing there.
Yep.
Like stands of minions watching you play. And just like these like it has no effect whatsoever other than the fact that you can hear minions and like see them on the outside like
Yeah, cheering.
yeah, they're like cheering. And add like a KDA, like some of them have KDA signs that they're waving back and forth, like because it's a KDA event because they're also in a concert as well. Like that seems like a really easy thing to do. Not really, okay, not easy, but like that seems like a layup without having to change anything else. It just is a layup to making these events more immersive, to making the experience better, and just overall a more fun game to play.
Yep.
Also, add premiere mode.
Premiere mode?
Fucking Valorant's like add low budget LCS directly into the client.
They have that?
Yes.
Like leagues and stuff?
Yep.
Dang.
Yeah. Why is that not in League?
I don't know.
Jeffrey's
we have
saying as well.
Clash.
Jeffrey's playing in it. He's no Clash is Jeffrey,
I was
tell him.
kidding.
Tell him.
I was
Jeffrey,
kidding.
fucking tell him. Clash is so shit compared to Premiere.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and Clash doesn't even run, bro.
Dude, literally, you log in to Valorant, and your Premiere team is like, the second you log in the client, it's there. And it's like, your next match is Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
That's kind of insane.
Jeffrey said there's over 500 teams in one league.
Oh my gosh. Why are we not doing this?
Because we don't play Valorant.
No, I'm saying, why is League, like, behind on this?
Because their client can't handle it.
Oh, that can't be that hard. Their client's that bad? You're telling me their client is that dog piss?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
I'm willing to say yes to that.
Well, maybe Freak could write a thread on it, and that would assuage my problems.
Oh, dude, like that is something that I pray to God that better be something that they at least address come preseason next year. Like you have to be looking at how well that's doing in Valorant and just say, look, we gotta find a way to get this in League. It would do so much to increase the amount of people playing the game. So much. Oh. It makes me sad just thinking about it right now. Meanwhile, like, I'm sitting here constantly checking the low budget LCS Discord to make sure that I'm not, like, forgetting something.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the update just came through today. Signups are in July. I just saw. By the way, are you gonna be able to play this split or?
I could probably play some of it.
Regular season is August 14th through October 8th.
When is it?
August 14th through October 8th.
Ooh. That's tough.
Either way, I think we'll be able to get a roster no matter what. Like, not a doubt.
Is there gonna be a winter season?
Maybe, but they typically don't because preseason, like, playoffs go from October 9th to November 5th.
I can just be a subtype. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fine because I know Nick wants to play. The other Nick, aka Healy, wants to play. Zebra said he's down, and then I know like Mark is down. So like I gotta see what's going on, and try and get everything set up. But I definitely want to get our team going in this, and I just pray to God more than anything. I pray to damn God that that Premiere comes to League of Legends next year.
I mean, if they did that, it would be beautiful, but there's no way. Like, they can't even get Clash on more than weekends.
Dude,
The fact that you can't play Clash on a Friday night blows my mind. Or a Thursday. Like,
think about
I know, like,
just think
and here's the thing. Think about how cool this is. LCS, right, moves to Thursday, a more watchable day. Some would say. Maybe not I, but some would say. Now, we should take that mindset and put Clash on Monday when I can play Clash. That would be great for me.
Yeah. Look, I know Valorant has more players than League. But I promise you,
Does it really worldwide?
Wait, Jeffrey just said that Premiere was on Mondays this
Oh my
this
gosh.
season. Oh my God, that's great. That's great. And the thing that
My little brother loves Valorant too. He's just laughing at me, I bet.
The thing that I love about that too is like the only thing that I kind of don't like about the way low budget LCS does, and it's a good thing and a bad thing, is like, the teams meet and like pick a day that works for everybody.
Yeah.
I like that Premier is just like, look, it's Monday at 8. Get your fucking team here or get somebody else. Like,
Yeah.
not our problem if you can't show up.
Yeah.
I honestly kind of like that.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, making an event also makes people more excited for the game.
Exactly.
Like, you're getting people in there, you're getting them excited, you're getting them to want to play. That's the type of thing you need. And I don't know. But Riot's just been behind that. They're
And
gonna be behind that.
like, so I don't know if you saw the class changes. They changed it so now it's purely based on wins, like how many of your 3 games that you win, rather than uh rather than it being purely based on like, a bracket format, which I think is like, it's not bad, but at the same time it defeats the purpose of it, in my opinion. Because then you're just playing games to see how many you can win in a certain period of time with like no, I don't know. Just go to a league format. I'm so like, just fucking give me Premier. God damn it.
If it's a league format, it would be great because leagues are like more fun anyways.
Exactly.
Like
I'd rather have something
Clash
that I can commit to for months than a one night tournament thing.
Clash is annoying because after game one, if you lose, like yes, some people still keep playing well, but if you have to get a random, you never know one of the randoms on your team could be one of those people who just completely checks out after one loss.
Yep.
And that is like the worst feeling in the world. The worst, because then you basically should have just forfeited.
Yeah. And then
Because
you
that
wasted
one
an
dude,
entire night.
yeah, held everybody hostage.
I don't
I
know.
don't know. Neither of us do.
Yeah, nope. We
But it's just...
we know what we want, and honestly, I do think that like playing in low budget LCS is gonna like. I am really upset with myself that I missed the timing on this to begin with, last split, because I truly feel like playing in this league brings so much value to the game that I've just been missing for the last what feels like year.
It does. And I wish I could have been playing in it this year because it's the only thing that makes me want to play the game.
Yeah.
Like, is a league format. It's just so fun. Like, I mean, it's like playing in a, what is it? It's why every like guy's dad or whatever, grandpa, at least your dad or grandpa for most people, played in a golf league,
Yep.
like, or a bowling league. Like,
Yep. And
it's
as the
just so
golfer,
fun.
yep, like your Tuesday men's league is like the best part. And
Yeah,
then you
my
have the best part is on top of that, you have like guys trips after that where like you go out for like an entire week and play golf somewhere. Like you stack things on top of that, but like having that consistency month over month, year over year is just so good.
mhm. Like my grandpa played bowling or would go bowling for like his whole life, and mainly it was built on the back of those tournaments. So it's like having a tournament is just so nice.
Yep. Yep.
But
But that's pretty much it. I've been streaming for a while tonight because I live watched the 100 Thieves game, which was a lot of fun, by the way.
well worth your time.
Yes.
Well worth your time.
So we'll see how that goes. Chat, to address the point, Jeffrey asked, can he play? The rulebook will be out soon, and we'll have to see what your peak rank was based on the parameters that they have set. You might have to just end up coaching our team, or you can find a team on your own. I'll let you know. But that's pretty much everything for us. We're going to head out of here. Oh, let me check real quick to see if there's any subtopics. Okay, there's nothing this week. So we can dip out of here. Chat, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for those that stuck around to watch the 100 Thieves game earlier. Thanks for tuning into the podcast. I'll be live again, likely. I'm probably going to be busy Saturday, maybe Saturday, if not later next week for the games, but that's pretty much it. So we will catch you all in the next episode. Adios. Bye.
Adios.